Hello everyone, Kiwi here. Today we're going to go over how to rapid fire injects. So we have a game ready here, but there's some setup to do beforehand. So you would go to Windows and you type regedit to find the registry editor, which would look something like that. And you find the keyboard response, which is an H key current user. You can find it yourself. And then you change the values here for the repeat rate. This way you can go faster than the repeat rate that you can change in the control panel. I would strongly suggest to go under 200 millisecond for the repeat delay, and to go between 1 and 3 millisecond for the repeat rate itself. 1 is perfectly fine. And going lower than say 100 or 120 makes it easy to get misclicks and input multiple times the same key, especially when typing. During Starcraft it's probably completely fine to get a repeat delay that's lower than 140. Myself, I'm more comfortable with something that I don't need to change, and 140 is fine for typing for me. So you can toy with it yourself and see how it's working for you. The other things you set to 00, flags is automatically 59, you don't touch those. And then, so these are the first few steps. You need to find regedit, change the things so your repeat rate is fast, and there's the delay before it starts repeating, it's not too long. For this to take effect, you do need to restart your computer. So if you want to test it, you need to close and open your computer repeatedly. So it's something you do once, and then after that it's just always like that on your computer, and it's perfectly fine. The other step is to go to your mouse software. I use Synapse myself, but every mouse has softwares. If there's no basic softwares for your mouse, there exists some that works for everything, but oftentimes the problem I will talk about in a second will arise for those things. The couple programs I looked at had that problem, so hopefully this is not something that will apply to you. So you go to your mouse settings and you want to get a keyboard key on your mouse. So here I use the mouse button this one on top of it. So this, I bind the key F from the keyboard on it, and this way when I click it, it inputs F, like if I click the keyboard. It's very important not to enable some mode like turbo. In other software it might have other names, and in other software it might be by default and you cannot change it, which was the case for older versions of Synapse, I know. So yeah, that's kind of a problem because it says turbo, but basically it fixes the repeat rate, and very often it's going to be slower than what Windows allow you to do, much slower. So that's a problem if you want to get rapid fires. Like I said, older softwares might have those by default, and you might be unable to disable those, so that's not very good. So once you have these in, you can test it in a notepad or anything where you input text. So if you press your button, you should be able to repeatedly get your key. And what we will use here that makes it very important to use the mouse instead of just the keyboard is that if you click two buttons at the same time on the keyboard, at some point it will repeat alternating, which is what we want to use for base camera and then the injects. And you have to click it at pretty much exactly the same time. It's not very lenient, like you have to be precise. But you can cheat that using a mouse. When you input from the mouse after the initial repeat delay, it will always consider that you have it at the same time, and it will always alternate. So if I click W and then at some point I click F, then it will end up alternating like so. You can test that in a notepad, and then we're ready to go in the game and see how it goes. So I have a game here with 4 bases and a bunch of queens. If I have all my queens, I put them in the middle. I start by holding my base camera, so it will swap very quickly because my repeat rate is very fast, like so. And then I will hold the rapid fire that I have on the injects, and all my queens will spread across, mapping, going to inject an hatchery like this. This was without pressing a shift, so every queen went and injected one base. But you can use shifts. And when you use shifts, the strength of it is that it will allow you to empty all the queens pretty much, but they will fumble quite a bit more. So this is useful in different types of situations, and let me show you how it looks. You start by holding shift and then base camera, and then you press your hotkey. And then all the queens will go all across and have multiple action queued. So they will more or less all empty themselves, but they will fumble quite a bit during that. This is very useful in the late game, most likely not very useful or not applicable for the first 8 to 10 minutes of the game, but once you are very focused on your army, having a quick and easy way to just, here we go, return to your army. You have all your queen energy is emptied, and you can focus on your army for the next minute or two. This is obviously very powerful, very nice to have as an option. Hopefully you can manage to do it, and it can be helpful for your games. So happy crafting of the stars, everyone. Hope this video helped. Bye bye.